What's going on, everybody? Moniz here, and today's very special because today is the first time on the channel I'm reviewing a Gigabyte laptop. I'm excited because these laptops have gotten great reviews in previous years, so it's great to finally review them for you. Now, the first thing I like is the design. It is super clean, super simple. This is like all black, metal chassis. You have a little bit of carbon fiber. The Gigabyte logo lights up, so you have some sort of character to it. And it's cool because this is something you can bring into the office, bring to school, and it's not gonna stick out like a sore thumb. It doesn't weigh much either, only 4.5 pounds, so it's not gonna weigh down your knapsack if you're bringing this to school. And there's tons of I/O to connect your peripherals to. On the left-hand side, you have your Ethernet jack. You have a USB 3.1 port, full-size HDMI, USB Type-C, and your audio connector. On the right-hand side, you have your Kensington lock. You have your barrel connector, 230 watt power supply, two more USB 3.1 ports, USB Type-C, this is Thunderbolt 3, and a full-size SD card slot. So getting in here is quite easy. You have an NVMe drive, this is an Intel drive, this is swappable if you want to put a bigger drive down the road. The Intel drive is quite fast, but it's not as fast as a Samsung Evo found in other gaming laptops. You have a Wi-Fi card that can be swapped out at any time, and you have two slots for your RAM. This is 16 gigabytes, two 8 gigabyte DIMMs, which gives you dual channel memory. Now the cool thing is that most gaming laptops that are this thin don't include a second M2 slot. This one does. So if you want a second drive, at least you have that option to put it in here. You do get a 94 watt hour battery, which is a pretty big battery again for a laptop this size. And because of that, you do get great battery life. I'm getting about 6 to 7 hours of use before needing to charge. This is general productivity, not gaming, but overall that's pretty impressive for an H series processor. So the display is 15.6 inches, it is 144 hertz, it's IPS, and has pretty good color accuracy. Overall, no complaints when it comes to gaming, and it's pretty good enough that you can do content creation on. There are options to buy this with a 240 hertz panel or 4K, but I think the 144 hertz panel is probably the one that most people should go for. The webcam, it's on the bottom of the laptop, so unfortunately it's gonna be looking up your nose. Again, if you're streaming, the screen is gonna be very small, so it might not be that big of a deal, but I wouldn't wanna have a conference call on this. Sound is coming out of two 2-watt speakers on the bottom of the laptop. They're okay, they don't get super loud, the highs are pretty clear, but it is very echoey. I also found that the bass does get a little bit distorted at max volume. The keyboard's kind of interesting. I like it and don't like it. I like the way the keys feel when I press on them. It has good travel distance and they feel great when I'm gaming. But cramming in a numpad on such a small form factor makes everything feel claustrophobic. And I found myself making a few more typing errors compared to other competing products. Now, it's not as bad as the keyboard on the Razer Blade, for example, but it's not the best one I've used. Now, you do get per key RGB lighting, so if you like to light up individual keys like I have here, you have that option. The touchpad, I actually like it a lot. It's not the biggest one compared to other products, but it's very accurate. It's using Windows precision, and it's one of the better touchpads I've used on a gaming laptop. So let's talk about performance. My model is the i7-9750H with the 1660 Ti, but you can buy this with an i9, you can get this with a 2070 Max-Q, it's totally up to you. But my suggestion when it comes to performance is to stick to the 9750H. Because of the thin form factor, going to anything more powerful will cause a lot more heat. Now, when it comes to actual gameplay, I was actually quite impressed. The 1660 Ti manages to beat out last year's 1070 Max-Q. It's not as fast as a 2060, but it's faster than a 1070 Max-Q, and that's quite impressive for its price point. Games like Overwatch, Fortnite, you can play all of these games comfortable with settings set to high or even epic. Now the cool thing, it comes with a feature called AI, or basically it's using the Windows Azure cloud to enhance the performance when you're playing game. To be honest with you, I didn't see a big benefit. I only saw maybe anywhere from a 2 to 3 FPS increase. This is not really that substantial, but it's kind of cool that some companies are starting to take advantage of this technology. So with good performance, how are the thermals? And unfortunately, they're not the best. Keyboard temperatures, or measuring around the keyboard, I was getting temperatures of 50 to 55 degrees Celsius, a bit on the higher side. CPU was hovering around 91 degrees Celsius, and this is with the fans at max. Unfortunately, it does thermal throttle a lot, which means it's not going to be boosting a lot, and the base clock speed is going to be on the lower end. In fact, the TDP of the CPU was hovering around 30 to 35, which is a lot lower than most of these CPUs can handle. It's not terrible. It's not as bad as something like the Alienware M15. It's just a little bit on the hotter side than I would like it to be. Fan noise does get quite loud when you have it on max, which is in line with other competing gaming laptops. So here are my closing thoughts. The Gigabyte Aero Classic is a great gaming laptop. It has a very small, thin, and portable form factor, some of the best battery life you're gonna get on a gaming laptop. It has a great display. AI helps out a little bit, but it's not something you should make your decision on. Keyboard's not bad if you don't mind it being cramped because of the numpad. Great touchpad, and overall offers great performance. The only drawback is that it does get a little bit too hot. And you have to understand, it's kind of expected. When you go this thin, thermals are never going to be the best. But with that being said, I do think Gigabyte did a pretty good job of balancing everything out. I can still recommend this laptop. I think the 1660 Ti offers a lot of value. I don't recommend going up to like a 2070 or an i9. I don't think this chassis can handle it. But that's pretty much it. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.